Vanguard Productions.
Correspondent Andrea Mitchell in our D.C. newsroom starts us off tonight. Andrea, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. That battle in Syria is now being fought in a diplomatic showdown between the United States and Russia, and it does feel like a return to the Cold War. Only days before President Obama is having his first summit with President Putin. A war of words between the U.S. and Russia, Syria's longtime military supplier. The Secretary of State accusing Russia again today of contributing to the violence by sending the Assad regime attack helicopters.
They continue to deliver. And we believe that the situation is spiraling towards civil war, and it's now time for everyone in the international community, including Russia, and all Security Council members, to speak to Assad with a unified voice.
Civil war.
If you take out this government, as we learned in Afghanistan and Iraq, you now become responsible for the country. And I don't think that should be our
citizens of the new America. For the last 2 years, you have known sacrifice, and you have known loss.
YouTube video shows it was a frightening sight in the skies over Israel and Turkey and Jordan. People thought it was a UFO. It quickly shot through the sky, bright and spiraling, before it disappeared into the night sky. It later made a lot more sense when we learned the Russians announced they had tested an intercontinental ballistic missile 6 minutes prior. Missile was believed to be about 180 miles above Earth, about half the distance to the International Space Station.
Has occurred with Iran over suspending its nuclear program. At what point, General, will a military solution be the only one available?
Well, you know, Josh, that's not my call to make. My job is to provide options on behalf of the Joint Chiefs and the combatant commander to the Commander-in-Chief, who will then determine when the current track, which, as you know, emphasizes political, diplomatic, and economic sanctions, when that path is exhausted, then he may come to that.
Surely as dawn follows night, a brilliant sun now shines across the world. It is the light of prosperity and progress, and the burning torch of peace.
Fears of a global slowdown, and Josh is here to get us started.
Yeah, good morning to you. And right now, right this minute, big worries on Wall Street this morning. Stocks have been tanking overseas today, plunging to their lowest levels in nearly 30 years. In Japan, Bianca Golodryga, GMA Weekend anchor, is watching it all for us right now. Good morning to you, Bianca.
Good morning, Josh. And things are not looking good right now. Investors around the world are very concerned about the latest jobs report that shows the U.S. unemployment rate rising for the first time in nearly 1 year and job growth slowing dramatically.
We're going to turn now to an important headline about fish that could have on your dinner plate. Some bluefin tuna off the California coast are carrying radioactive contamination from that nuclear plant that started leaking after last year's earthquake in Japan. ABC's Lindsay Davis here with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, George. Researchers admit they were not expecting this. In fact, this is the first time such a large migrating fish has been shown to carry radioactivity so far. And the scientists involved say the results are unequivocal that Fukushima was definitely the source.
The 6,000-mile journey across the Pacific to the U.S. The scientists assumed the radioactivity would have been long gone by the time they arrived because big fish like bluefin tuna, which can weigh more than 1,000 pounds, would typically shed radioactive substances easily. But what they found were levels of contamination 10 times higher than amounts measured in previous years. Still,
prosecutors say Montenegro killed her current boyfriend, 63-year-old Samuel Wiggins Jr., inside his own Diamond Bar home and then began chopping up his body.
We believe she has a complete disregard for